This year, the theme of the director's lectures is Meet the Players. It's very popular today for players of the winning teams or players, highlight individuals, to meet the fans. Well, I wanted you to meet the players. During the course of this year, there will be 12 of the major players involved in the creation-evolution controversy introduced to you. For instance, in January, I introduced to you the evidence, the scientific evidence from the major player, that is the written and verified Word of God. Amazingly, the Bible substantiates itself. Now that's an awesome statement. The book of Genesis begins with the most awesome, the most profound scientific statement of universal impact ever written. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The world-class physicists and geophysicists recognize that all we can monitor in the entire universe, all we can experiment with in the entire universe, all we know to be in physical existence in the entire universe is the following: time, well, in the beginning; force, God; energy, created; the heaven, space; and the earth, mass. Did you get that? All we have to work with are time, force, energy, space, and mass. Is that correct?
That's it. That's all of physics.
That's all of physics. Well, the Bible begins with, in the beginning, that's time; God, that's the ultimate force; created, that's energy; the heavens, that's space; and the earth, that's mass. It looks to me like, from the outset, the only document, whether scientific or religious, the only document that ever embraces the origin of the universe is the Bible. All other documents, all other religions, all other concepts, including evolution, begin with what's called the cosmic egg, a universal potential. But from nothing, He did it all, right? And in February, we talked about the poster girl of evolution, Lucy. We now, after years of attempts, have been able to acquire a replica of all they found of Lucy, and it's right over here. After the lecture, you want to look at this replica on the other wall face over there. We talked about the hoax twins, the Nebraska man and the Piltdown man. And then last month, I talked about Neanderthal man. And for those who were here for the lecture, you learned that Neanderthal invented the first superglue, the first movies. He invented the first shopping centers, the first mass production centers. Wow! He also carved very beautiful, ornate dolls, objects. He invented the flute. Oh my goodness. And in addition to that, Neanderthal man invented fabric. That is, it's the first record of fabric that we have for wearing apparel. That's awesome. His contemporaries, the Aurignacian people, drew star charts. His contemporaries, the Cro-Magnon man, actually had a brain capacity and produced artistic work that rivals the great masters of the centuries. We have 1,350 cc's of cranial capacity. Neanderthal man had 1,450 cc's of cranial capacity. And I mentioned to you that it has now been admitted in the technical literature that Europeans, how many of you have European origin? Oh, we all have one way or another. Europeans have at least 2 to 3% genetic information from Neanderthal. And after the lecture, some individuals came up to talk to me. And Among those was a leader of a group of young people who came, a lady, and she brought 15 or 16 young people to the lecture. And she said, I just wanted you to know, my sister works with Army intelligence. You have to be pretty smart to be an intel. And she said, we have a tendency, as you indicated, the Neanderthals were not as tall as most people, as most other individuals that have been found, but they were extremely strong. She said, our family has those traits, and she said, my sister just had run, what is it, 23andMe? DNA test. And she had it verified. And she said, since my sister had it run, I don't need to have it run. And she said, this was verified in the records. She has 97% identical genes to Neanderthal genes. I said, how smart is she? She said, well, she's a professional educator and she's with Intel. Oh my goodness. I said, what do you do? She said, I'm a professional educator. Oh, we've got Neanderthals among us. Isn't that wonderful? Sure. And they were all thriving recently.